Alright guys, I'm going to assume you watched the last episode of the series. You already know the drill. Today we are roasting resumes on r/csMajors. I'm actually recording this right after having recorded the first episode because I was looking past some of the ones we talked about last time, and I think the formatting on these is a little more variable, so we'll see how it goes. Actually, you can tell I still have the tabs open, so let me get rid of those. So let's just get right into it here. First one. This format is interesting. It's clean, it's definitely clean, but it's a little dense for me. It kind of makes it harder to read. I also, in general, would move technical skills down to the bottom, just because I feel like you read through the experiences, they spell out all the skills, and then at the end, it kind of summarizes it, versus at the top, you kind of just have to take it for granted and then circle back after, which is less natural. In any case, okay, technical skills, AutoCAD. Is this person doing... Oh, environmental engineering. Interesting. They say there? Oh, okay. Kind of the wrong subreddit, but whatever. Let's go for it. Environmental engineering. So they got MATLAB and Python here. Okay, work experience. Good. Quantifiable things there. Nice numbers. State University of New York. Yeah, it is kind of harder to like read through. Everything's so dense, but it's okay. Okay. And then got some projects at the bottom. So I'm obviously less well-versed in environmental engineering than I am in software engineering because I've been working as that for a while. But these experiences seem solid to me. I like these projects at the bottom. I mean, research projects are always good if you have them. I don't know if these were actual publications or not. So a little less advice for me there. I would honestly say my biggest complaint is that the formatting is just way too dense and it makes it harder to read. And you got a lot of margin on the side, so make use of it. Let's just go on to the next one. Short and sweet. First name, last name. Software engineer. A lot of white space here. So this is like the opposite problem. You can just tell like wall of black, wall of white, right? But let's go for it. Company A, backend developer. Where's their education? I would put the education at the top. Always put, yeah, I would swap languages and technologies and education. It just kind of looks strange here. Company A, backend developer. Personally, I like having the position as the larger one than the company, because obviously like in terms of evaluating you as a candidate, that's what's more important. And it's a little bit less, I don't know what companies these are, but like even if they're strong companies, like even if you had an internship at Google, like I do still think it's good to say like I was a backend developer at Google versus I worked at Google as a backend developer. It's putting the wrong foot forward, but developed real-time chat, 1,000, good bolding. I would bold like Docker files here, CI pipeline. Missed out on some bolding opportunities here. Still quantifying things, always most important. This person's doing it, which is good. Very cool. Solid bullets. Integration of celery. I don't know what that means. SMS notification. Solid bullets still. Oh, so this is like some kind of, yeah, this is machine learning. I would maybe bold like CNNs at the top here. Yeah, especially if this is a publication, like this is cool. This is cool stuff. I would definitely stress the top part here. Sometimes you need a bullet to give context in general about what the project is. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like that's clearly what this person's doing here. Also, you better have machine learning research assistant, assuming that you care about the fact that it was machine learning, because research assistant is way less impressive than ML researcher, like ML research assistant, ML research intern, something like that. And this is like cool work, so I would definitely, have a title that's just as cool. Like company D, backend developer. Yeah, this one seems like kind of gets us real estate, which is fine. I'm actually like this footer at the bottom, although I would remove the page number. So I honestly think with this resume, fire truck outside, assuming this person's not getting the results they want, really, I think the problem is a formatting problem. It's just strange. It's not bad, but I've never seen something like this before. It kind of looks like a default, like Microsoft resume template, but not in a good way. At least it's clean. Yeah, aside from that, like kind of general visual format, I definitely would put languages and technologies at the bottom. You went to school, like you want to, show that off. Next one. Okay. Wow, very formal. Interesting format. I kind of like this one. Except this seems off. I'm guessing it should look like this. But I'm okay with the at IBM there. I think that's fine. Again, what is it with putting education at the bottom? Put it at the top. Aspiring Android developer. Yeah, not a huge fan of professional summaries, but I think they're better than objective statements, mainly because it's like they're actually highlighting what they're working on and what they have worked on. So as far as professional summaries go, this is not a bad one, even though I'm not a huge fan of the premise altogether. But anyway, really strong emphasis on working in teams here. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. And they do have a lot of technical skills here. A little much, but I don't know. None of this really seems redundant. So I don't think it's fair to just say, like, you know, put less. Because all these do seem to be different things. So maybe put, I don't know how much experience this person has. Okay, 2022. So about a little bit more than me. Okay, integrated Google AI tools. I would just say Gemini. Yeah, I would also consolidate like Firebase authentication and Firestore into Firebase. Like I would just up front say like that you use Firebase and then focus more on the specific things you did. And I would say kind of like in general, these bullets are a little lame, like especially the IBM ones, like this could be longer. Yeah, it just seems like you're not really fleshing out your projects a lot. I would remove this. I think this mini projects thing doesn't look good. Just because, like, if they're not good enough to warrant their own bullet, I would just leave it out. Yeah, I think honestly here, even though it's not like a standard format like we're used to, it's more of a content problem. Like your skills, you actually spell out your skills really well, but then like your experiences are kind of lacking, right? And I'm not saying that just because you only have 2 internships or whatever. I'm just saying like you don't really flesh them out and give them the real estate they hopefully deserve. I would definitely try to flesh those out more. Also, I would never call your own project like a clone because you're kind of cheapening it. Anyway, all right, next one. What are we on, 4 now? I don't know why the paper looks like this. Honestly, I also don't think the formatting here is bad. In general, I would just leave colors out. Like I see the lines are blue. I don't think the formatting is bad at all. I don't know if this is like a fax scan or something, but hopefully you could just like make it black and white and it'll be good. Anyway, okay, College of Engineering. I like the degree at the top, education, skills. I would put skills at the bottom. I think this is a fine amount of skills. I think these are good. Okay, so it doesn't look like there's any experience on this resume, just projects, which is okay. So get Codecraft, collaborative code editor. Oh, cool project. I think that's pretty cool, actually. I like that. And I think they spelled them out well. I like the tools listed next to the project. I would maybe spell out what this algorithm is, even if it's something simple. It's like designed an algorithm doesn't really help. It kind of seems like a scheduling algorithm. So if you use scheduling algorithms or something else to do that, I would maybe like be more explicit there. I would also maybe consider bolding things in here. The font seems a little light, so you got the visual like room for it. So maybe consider like bolding, you know, Mistral API or whatever else. Okay, brand boost. Cool projects and then relevant coursework and achievements. It seems like you're missing out on potential here with this achievements thing. I mean, these all seem like good projects. I mean, I would assume like if you won these things, right? I don't know if these things here were parts of those hackathons or whatever, but maybe consider fleshing those out more if they're not, if they're separate things. You know, don't throw them at the bottom in like achievements. I would really like flesh them out in projects. I mean, you definitely have the room. I mean, this is a pretty like light resume in terms of formatting. So you could definitely pull it off, I think. Relevant coursework, I would maybe remove it or put like a super... Yeah, I mean, this doesn't need its own heading. I would just put it with your education, right? It's kind of weird to have the education at the top and then the relevant coursework at the bottom. Yeah, I would maybe look at fleshing out the achievements you have at the bottom if they're different from the projects you have in the middle there. And yeah, and then maybe change the coloring because this green is a little strange. I'm guessing it's some kind of fax or something. Yeah, overall, I don't think these are bad projects at all. I think you spelled them out pretty well. If you could get some more numbers in there, that would help. Like, there's no numbers in the bullets. If there's like anything, like, you know, reduce training times by some percent or could support up to a certain number of users, whatever. I would definitely try to get some numbers in there. But yeah, okay. That's number 4. And let's get through the last one. Here we go. Ooh, we got a 2-pager next. All right, maybe we'll do 6. Okay. Large Public Research University, New York. I like that they have the LinkedIn and portfolio at the top. I think this is a different format. I've seen this before. I think it looks good. I like it. It kind of seems like a denser resume, but not in a bad way. Yeah, I would slim down the relevant courses or just remove them because like having like linear algebra and DSA is kind of screaming student, which you are a student. There's nothing wrong with that. But I would just maybe trim those up or just remove them altogether. Or like just have the more advanced ones. Like you have like an AI thing in there, computer networks. Maybe consider just having like a couple of heavy hitters and that's it. But I definitely wouldn't have like linear algebra in there. One big thing, I would highly, highly recommend changing the order of these around. So for me, I used to do this thing where I would separate like internship experience and research and stuff. I would just consolidate them. I just think it's cleaner and easier to understand, but if not, that's okay. Either way, definitely move these to the top, because like it or not, even if this is your best work, I haven't read it yet, internships and research and whatnot are going to be weighed more highly than like projects. So I would definitely change the ordering there, but let's go with it as is. Parking management, was this real? If this is real, it's actually like very impressive, but I can't really tell. Production grade, I mean, I don't know if it was actually deployed or not. If it was deployed, I would actually really try to lay that out if this is something that was used, or maybe even consider making it like an experience. I'm not a fan of calling them clones, but it's okay. Cool, chess app, that's hard stuff. I've never done it, especially coding it in C. I've never done that before. It seems really difficult, so good on you there. High performance concurrency, yeah, I would stress this project more. Maybe even consider like trimming down the Reddit thing. Let's go to research. Cool, good stuff. Accessibility technology, very cool. I don't even know what microservices are. Like I've said before, I work in the aerospace industry. I haven't really seen that in the kinds of software I write, but I've heard microservices are bad voodoo. So maybe remove that, I don't know. That's an uneducated take, so don't take it too strongly. Yeah, I could see the argument for putting this stuff at the bottom, and then skills seem fine. So yeah, I would just change the ordering around. If this first project was it production grade, or was it actually put out in production? Because if it was put out in production, I would emphasize that more strongly, and maybe even consider promoting it from project to something else. The network chess application's fine. I would maybe, Reddit clone. It is what it is. I think calling it a clone kind of cheapens it. Not that it's a bad project, but I just think it's bad terminology. But solid altogether, and I like this format. I think it's fine. I think it's not too dense. It's the right amount of dense. And yeah, I'm a fan of this resume overall. I think it's good. Not to say I didn't like the rest, but you know what I mean. All right, let's do a bonus round. Oh boy, I think I'm gonna move my OBS setup around. Let's do that and move my big head to the bottom. Okay, that should help. Cool. 2-pager. All right. I've had 2-page resumes before. I think in general, you kind of want to avoid it because you get this like overwhelm, which I'm definitely feeling right now. But yeah, let's roll with it. So formatting seems a little strange. I don't really know, my head is in the way, but you can see these like dots there. I don't really know what that's about. But in any case, bachelor's, master's, skills at the top, always put skills at the bottom. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. All right, let's start with the easy stuff. I think the formatting you got going on is a little strange. I would definitely put skills at the bottom, like education, experience, project, skills. And then if you want organization at the bottom, but I don't even know what that is. Another thing is these are all paragraphs. They should not be paragraphs. Each project, look, these are literally multi-sentence things here. And I think even in your experience section here, they're too long. I would definitely chunk these up more. There's something wrong with having more than like 4 bullets. It just kind of gives wall of text, which is tough. But let's go through and look at the actual experience here anyway. Vulnerability disclosure program, ethically reported. Oh, interesting. That was cool. These are experiences, sorry, not projects. Good bolding there. Again, the density of it makes it kind of less effective, but that's okay. Interesting. It seems like there's an automation piece in this bullet here, which is good. I would maybe try to spell that out more. People like automation, saves money. Privacy aware monitoring for signal temporal logic. Cool. This person has a cybersecurity interest. Again, because of the strange formatting and the density, I can't tell that this person is going for cyber. You really have to make it abundantly clear what kind of position you're looking for. And this kind of doesn't, even though there's like a ton of cyber stuff in here. So if you've got the quantity there, right? Any case, let's keep going. Okay, RA, intern, cool. All right, let's get to the projects. Yeah, this is just like, it's tiring to read through because it's big, long paragraphs, even on the left page too. So I would advise chunking it out more. People are dumb, me included. Okay, so I'm gonna edit that out, but I just spent a whole minute reading this because it just takes a while. I just think the biggest thing is the formatting. I mean, it's kind of all over the place. I would move the skills to the bottom. I would make the projects multiple bullets, and then make, in general, this whole format you got going on here is strange. Like, I don't know what this is, this line. And there's no, I would like having some lines in here. Actually, that got cut out of my video dissecting my old resume, or my current resume, whatever. For some reason, it didn't render them on my Mac, but in any case, I'm a fan of having these lines here. Maybe they have the same problem, I don't know. But I would definitely say, yeah, the formatting could really use some work. And then once you've slimmed it up and cleaned it up, then I think I would start looking at, okay, how can I brand myself as a cyber person more effectively? Because it kind of took me a while to figure out that that's the kind of position you're going for. I mean, you do have security tools in here, but still, it should like jump out at me. There's worse ones out there that stress that less. Like, you do have a good amount of cyber stuff on here. It's just kind of with the formatting the way it is and how dense everything is, it's hard to actually pick it out. So, okay, I'm gonna wrap it here. Yeah, I'll just leave my OBS studio set up a little strange. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. This was the second of a new series I'm starting. I'm doing the first 2 episodes about r/CS majors, but I'll go to other engineering majors, maybe like my hometown of aerospace engineering, but we'll see where it goes. So hopefully you guys enjoy this series. I'm just trying to provide good advice to people who are trying to spice up their resumes, as I've had to do several times while I was in school, while I was graduating. Each time I'd get a new internship, it was like my whole resume needed an overhaul, right? Like, get reset hard. And so I really do think resumes are a super high leverage thing to get really good at. And hopefully through this video and some of the other content in this channel, you can too. So thanks a lot for watching. I actually didn't introduce myself at the beginning because I was so excited to get into this stuff. I'm the Unhinged Engineer. I make professional development content for other engineers like me. I've been working as a software engineer in the aerospace industry for a few years now, and I know that navigating the engineering world at this very moment is very, very perilous. So if you're looking for somebody else who's going along that journey with you and you want to follow along, I would highly recommend this channel. Please like, comment, subscribe. Comment if you disagree with anything I said or you have other feedback for these fine job candidates here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.